Okay. All right. Welcome to exercise 4, data refinement, visualization, and exploration with team 3, which is myself, Sophie, Mark, Nathan, and Freddie. So the table of contents, we're going to go through 4-1, data refinement, 4-2, 3, and 4, data visualization, and then 4-5, data exploration. So, given the data, which variables have a normal distribution? So these are the normal distributions that we found. So frequency of age, frequency of education, frequency of job involvement, frequency of training times last year, and then frequency of work-life balance. These are all generally normal distributions, not perfect, but close enough to normal that we would count it as normal. Which continent has the highest GDP? This is GDP per capita by continent, and we can see that Europe has the highest GDP. How does the graph change when the aggregation of GDP is changed to average? So this is before, and then this is after, I believe. Yes. So Europe has the highest GDP in aggregation, and then when it's changed to average, the highest is Oceania. How does the visualization change when the figure is grouped by continent and colored by continent? So grouped by continent is a much more aggregate look of socioeconomic status, years of education, and GDP per capita. And there's a lot more visual data in this. And then when it's colored by continent and grouped by continent, you can see that it is more distinct. And Oceania is up here, followed by Europe, followed by America, followed by Asia, and then followed by Africa. So when it's colored by continent and grouped by continent, it is more concise and easier to see than just the aggregate years of education, GDP per capita, and socioeconomic status, because any of these could be any country, but when they're grouped, you can see specifics. So what happens when you play the figure? So we are going to switch to SassVia for this. So here, I've already prepared the report, and I've grouped by country, and then added the animation of year. So when we play the data, we can see that the data moves significantly, and we can see the trends of the data as well. Excuse me. So the next question for this: how many data dimensions does the visualization capture? So this measures country, socioeconomic status, years of education, and GDP per capita. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Describe how the three countries differ over time in terms of GDP per capita and years of education. So there are lots of different countries. But as we can see in this, they change significantly over the years, drastically. All of them do. I don't think any of them stay consistent. There's a lot of change back and forth. As we can see in that trend, a lot of them go backwards, but then eventually they all spike up toward this upper quadrant. Let's see. Okay, now we are back to this part. So what is the value in knowing which factors lead the company to attrition? So we can look at these factors and see how we can make them affect employee attrition less. And we can conduct a root cause analysis to determine why they lead to attrition. And then how do gender and marital status relate to employee attrition? So we can see in this column is divorced, married, and single. The blue is female, the yellow is male. And attrition happens significantly more in men in general, but specifically increasingly more in married men than any other group of gender or marital status. So we believe that being married increases employee attrition rate. How does attrition vary across job roles? As we can see, sales executives have significantly higher attrition, followed by research scientists and lab technicians. Oh, these are no. Wrong. These are no. So these are the no's and these are the yeses. So lab techs and sales executives, it occurs more in, but also it occurs the least in sales executives. And then how does attrition vary across business travel? Business travel rarely is the highest frequency of no attrition, but also the highest frequency of attrition, followed by travel frequently and then non-travel. The trend continues for no and yes, but employee attrition is most prevalent in travel rarely. Based on the categorical data, what hypotheses can you make regarding causes of attrition? So our hypothesis that we came up with was gender, marital status, job role, and business travel all have an effect on employee attrition. Thank you.